Tim from Pool Builders Pool Shop. Today we're here at an environment pool at Carina, and I just want to talk to you guys about a common question we get is my system's been shut off and it's off on no flow, and why has that happened? So what I want to show you guys today is just a quick way to try and diagnose exactly how that fault could have come about and how to rectify that. So what I always do is start first thing at the pool. Okay, so the biggest thing we have is it's summertime, we've got a lot of evaporation, a lot of usage, and the water level has actually dropped. So if your water level is actually too low, it will cut out on no flow because the pump will cavitate quite a lot. Okay, so the first thing I always look at is our water level. So this is the skimmer box here on this pool, and as you can see, the water level in here is about 3/4 of the opening of the skimmer box, which is ideal and where we want to be. Okay, so the water level in this pool is fantastic. Okay, next thing we look at is what's called the weir door inside the skimmer box. Okay, so this basically traps all the debris inside, leaves and stuff like that in the skimmer box when the pump shuts off. Sometimes you can get a gum nut, some leaves from a jacaranda, something like that, a seed, and it'll actually lock up that weir door. So just check your weir door and make sure the flap is nice and freely moving for yourself. Okay. Next thing I always check is the skimmer basket itself. Now, don't be too confused. I've had a couple of things come in this over the years. Plastic bags that have blown in from somewhere out on the street, pool toys, things like that. If it covers the base of this skimmer basket, it will cause starvation to the pump, cavitation. You will get that no flow error coming up on the chlorinator. Okay. So on this pool here, basket's clean, weir door's open, and we've got a really good water level. Alright, so now that those three things have been ticked off, next thing we want to look at is the filtration system. Okay, so if we come over to the filtration system, next thing we want to check is our pump. Okay, so from the skimmer box coming through the suction line into the pump. Alright, so the most common thing that I do get sometimes from periodic is someone has emptied the basket and has put the basket in incorrectly, be it sideways and it's sitting up very high, or they have dropped the O-ring out of the basket, out of the pump lid. Okay, now without that O-ring, that won't create a seal and it will suck air and cause the pump to cavitate. So this one here, basket's in correctly, O-ring's in the lid, and the lid's nice and screwed on. Okay, so that's all nice and good. Next thing we generally get is we try and keep these filters at least backwashed once a month. Okay, we try and keep it that sort of first week of every month, get a good routine going, and away we go. The only thing is, I'll just turn it on the manual now and get it going. So what we have at the back here is a pressure gauge. Okay, so when the pump gets going, you'll see that pressure gauge start to come up, and that'll give you your average pressure. Now the good thing about the Astral ones here is they do give you a guide for when the filter needs to be backwashed. So if the pump is running and the filter's nice and dirty and there's a lot of sediment inside of there, that will cause a flow restriction, okay, on the filter, and that'll cause the no flow error to come up on the chlorinator. Now the no flow sensor is on top of the chlorinator cell, right at its highest point of the filtration. Alright, so if the filter's nice and dirty, we've got water coming in from the pump into here, and we have a poor lack of flow on the chlorinator cell. Now, if you have a look at this one, the pressure on this is fantastic. It's very low, it's slowly climbing. Generally that hover around 70, 80 kPa. Anything lower is good. Once you get up around 100 or even more, that's when it really needs a backwash. And a good indicator for that as well is the chlorinator cell only has about 50% flow. So as we can see, this has got 100% flow. We've got really good pressure on our filter, and we have no flow not coming up. Now, if no flow does come up on these E-series chlorinators, it will flash up in this right-hand side corner until the problem is rectified. Alright, so as long as all those are looking good and they're happy, then you should have a no flow error and no issue with that whatsoever.